Hi everyone, welcome to the Books of Morgan. I'm Morgan and today I'm doing my June wrap-up. So this month I read a total of 10 books. I'm so proud of myself because last month, or in May, I think I only read like 6. That's still a good amount of books, but I'm really proud that I managed 10 books. I thought I was going to read more, but life stuff came up and then I didn't. So I'm just going to show you the 10 books that I read. I mostly have my physical copies here, but I did use my library a lot this month, and I ended up checking a lot of ebooks out. So I'm just going to mention those books, and I might not go too in depth in them just because I don't have physical copies to show you, but I will mention those books that I read from the library. So the first book that I read in the month of June was a book that I promised I would finish, that I started at the end of May. And that was Nevernight by J. Kristoff. Now, everyone seems to love this book, and I don't get it. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. It's a good adult fantasy book. There's really good world building. The characters are decent. It's just, I couldn't connect with the main character. I couldn't get into this world. This is definitely a situation where it was like, me, not the book. This is just not for me. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if I was just in a bad mood to read it or what. I have no intention of rereading this. Honestly, I thought it was super boring. It wasn't the footnotes. The footnotes didn't bother me. It was just like, oh my god, it keeps going on and on and on, and I just wasn't invested in the world. So for me, this is 3 out of 5 stars, and I don't think I'll be continuing on with the series. I'm so sorry if this is your favorite book. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. Oh well. The next book that I read is actually an ebook that I don't have with me, and that is The Beekeepers Apprentice by Lori R. King. This was my book club's book of the month, and I hated it. I gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars. There was really weird stuff in there, like some gender role things. Essentially, Sherlock takes on this young girl who's 18 as his assistant, and to me it just felt like the author had this fantasy of being Sherlock's, right-hand man or woman, and then just wrote this book. And it was bad. It was not well written. It wasn't good. No one really in my book club liked it. So yeah, that was a flop for us. The next book that I read was Starry by Jen Bennett. I loved Jen Bennett's other book, Alex Approximately, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This one I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. The first half of this book was honestly painful, but once I got through that halfway point, once I got to the main thing that happened, I was really into this book. I liked the main character. I liked the love interest. I will say that the main character's fashion choices were really bad. The descriptions of her clothing, I was like, this is not cute. I'm not going to picture that. But essentially this follows our 2 main characters who I've now forgotten their names. Oh, the girl's name is Zori. Weird name. Her name is Zori, and she is going on this camping trip. She's not really a campy kind of girl, and the guy is her nemesis who was her best friend, and they get lost in the woods because, well, not lost, but they end up going camping in the woods when their friends abandon them, and it's their love story, enemies to lovers, which I did like that aspect. There was just a lot of things in this book that I really didn't like. I didn't like when they were with their friends in the beginning. I thought that was really frustrating because I didn't like them. And then the side plots were just really weird. Zori's dad was cheating on her mom, and it was with a bunch of women, and that was a weird subplot to this, and I was like, why is this here? What is happening? I don't understand why that existed. But yeah, I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was really fast-paced. If you're into YA contemporary romance, this is definitely a book for you. And I do like Jen Bennett. I'll probably read more from her. Another book that I read this month was Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is, I would say it's a new adult book that follows Marianne and Connell in rural Ireland, and then they go to college at Trinity, and it's their on and off romance, and I absolutely adored this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Honestly, I loved it so much. It is so cerebral and intellectual and just beautifully written and so heartbreaking. I mean, this book made me tear up. Like, I almost like started bawling at the end. I really liked the ending. I know a lot of people are like, oh, we don't know what happens, and I'm like, that's the point, because that's life. Sally Rooney is an incredible author. I am definitely going to be reading her other book, Conversations with Friends, at some point, because this one was such a hit for me. I freaking loved it. And if you haven't read it, please go do it. I have not watched the Hulu series yet. I will at some point. I'm just really bad at watching TV. I just like reading books more than watching TV, and that's just who I am, okay? That's why I have a booktube channel and not a TV channel, so yeah. I loved this book. So good. So beautifully written. Okay, they don't use any quotation marks for dialogue, but to me, I thought that was so cool because it made you feel like you were into the book more. I don't know. I loved this book. It was so good. This is definitely going to make like my top 5 books of the year because I can't think of anything else that will top this. I adored it. I also read the book Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. A part of my June reading month, I wanted to read a lot of books by people of color, so that's why I did a lot of library checkouts just to make sure I had more diverse reads in my wrap-up. But I did read Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This follows Chloe Brown, who has fibromyalgia and another chronic pain issue, and that prevents her from doing a lot of things in life because she's really cautious about things. But then she makes a list of things that she wants to do, and she wants to get a life, and she wants to explore things, and she enlists the help of her superintendent, Redford Morgan. I gave this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't hate it. There were some parts that I found really enjoyable. The smut was pretty good. It was just like an odd book for me. Like, this wasn't something that I would normally gravitate towards. There was a lot of build-up in the beginning. There was a lot of like world building for a romance book, and I was like, what is going on here? I don't know if I'll read another one. I didn't think this was like the most well-written book out there. So for me, I didn't really get a lot out of this one, but I know a lot of people adore it and love it, and I think the representation is really awesome. It's just the plot for me was lacking for some reason, and the writing was just meh. So yeah. Another book that I read and loved was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. Y'all, I finally read this book. Are you happy with me? Hello? Hi, I am on the train. 5 out of 5 stars. This book is freaking amazing. This follows the first son of the United States, Alex, and his romance with the Prince of Wales, Henry. And this is enemies to lovers, and it is so cute. Also, June is Pride Month, so this was my queer read for the month, and I was really happy with it. I know I should probably read more queer reads, but I will definitely be looking at those when I purchase more books. So I'm trying to diversify my shelf, you know, I'm working on it, but I loved this book. It was so good. The smut was, oh my gosh, it was so good. I love this, and I love the romance, and it's absurd. Like, there's so many absurd parts. When Alex sees Henry in one moment, he's like, Henry is literally on a white horse trotting along like Prince Charming. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous, but I love it. And there was just so many witty lines, and it was quirky, and it was my favorite tropes. So yeah, really loved this book, and if you haven't picked it up, please go do yourself a favor and do so. I'm going to talk about another ebook that I checked out from the library, and that was The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. Like I mentioned before, I want to trade more diverse reads, and that followed 2 characters who I forget their names now, but essentially this girl is proposed to on the Jumbotron at a Dodgers game, and this guy comes and rescues her when she says no because it was super awkward and she was just left there, and then her whole video was replayed on like ESPN, and like it went viral, and she was just struggling with that. And then it was her romance with the guy who rescued her. I thought it was super cute and super quirky and fun. I really liked Jasmine Guillory's writing style. It was a super quick and fast read. I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. I don't know why, but there was just not like an element that was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I think it lacked something maybe in the plot or maybe in the smut, but honestly, I thought it was a really good romance read, and I will definitely be checking out Jasmine Guillory's other books because I know she has a bunch of other romance reads. The Proposal was really good. Yeah, I just really liked it, so yeah. I read a lot of romance this month, guys, and I also read How to Walk Away by Catherine Center, and oh my god, Catherine Center, you kill me. This book was so good. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And the 0.5 is because there wasn't any smut in here, because, and I think there should have been smut. Like there was an opportunity for there to be some smut. But it was a pretty serious topic. So this woman gets into a plane crash with her fiance, and then she loses the ability to walk. And it's her recovery in the hospital, and she's really trying to, you know, get her life back because her life was so perfect before, and she's struggling with her new disability, and her family is trying to be supportive, but there's some crazy family drama happening. And then her fiance turns out to be this wackadoo who's like super shallow and super, like the worst. Like I was so, like I wanted her to break up with him in like the first like 20 pages, and it took a while for her to break up with him. And I think that's kind of why I docked 0.5 stars as well. But then she ends up falling in love with her physical therapist, who is this crotchety man who I just adore. I mean, he's so charming. I would fall in love with him too. And it's just such a good book. And I just wanted there to be like more smut. And I really liked the family drama. I thought the plot was super interesting. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this book. Like, go read it. If you haven't read Catherine Center's books and you like romance with hard-hitting subjects, definitely read them. I read Things to Save in the Fire last year and really enjoyed it, and I love this one too. I like Things You Save in a Fire better, but this one is also very good. I'm going to talk about 2 other romance books that I read. I also read Real Men Knit by Kwana Jackson, another diverse read that I picked out. This follows Jessie Strong and some girl, I forget her name. Wow, that's really annoying. So I forgot their names because I hated this book. This follows like this group of people in Harlem who had this knitting shop. The knitting shop belonged to these brothers' mom, like adoptive mom, who passed away, and then they have to figure out what they're going to do with the shop. The premise sounded really cool. Poorly written though. There was sexism, there was misogyny, there was so many problematic things in that book. There was really bad smut. Like, the dirty talk was about knitting. He was like, oh my god, I'm so attracted to you when I see you knit. And I'm like, how is that sexy? Like, I don't get it. I don't know. It was just really weird. I didn't like it at all. I give it 1.5 out of 5 stars. Honestly, probably one of the worst books I read. The writing was honestly terrible, and I wanted to love this so much. Like, I want Kwana Jackson to be an awesome writer, but in her biography, I read that she was in the fashion industry for 13 years, and then she wanted to write a book, so she did, and I was like, it's just, you didn't have a good editor. I don't know what went wrong. It was just really bad. And there are debut novels that are really good, but there are other where you're like, oh my god, yeah, no, this was definitely a debut novel. And this one was just like, I've read better college essays than this from an introductory writing class. It was just really bad. And I would not recommend it. Don't waste your money on it. The reason I don't have it with me is because I did have a physical copy, but I actually sold it to someone on my Depop shop because I didn't want it anymore. And I know other people would enjoy these books. When I like give bad reviews to books, I know that it's really subjective to me and that other people will enjoy the books that I didn't care for, which is why I started a Depop shop. I'm going to link it in my bio actually because I sell my books really cheaply. My paperbacks are $3 and my hardcovers are $5, and like that's the like price. Like I don't change anything based on release dates. Those are the prices, and shipping is really cheap. If you buy one book, it's $4.50. And I know that shipping is kind of annoying to pay for when Amazon Prime exists, but I'm telling you, because my books are so cheap, you'll only end up spending like $7 in total, which you would spend twice as much on Amazon anyways. And yeah, if you want to buy cheap used books, mine are really good. So yeah, definitely check out my Depop shop if you're looking for cheap used books, essentially. Also link it in future videos as well. So that's enough. I'm literally not even looking for money, honestly. Like, I just want to give these books away and make a little extra change because I am moving at the end of the month, or at the end of the month of July. So it'd be nice to get rid of some things and clear out my bookshelf and all that stuff. So yeah, if you want to buy used books, click the link in the description box. Mine are really cheap. I honestly think it's a good deal. So yeah. Alright, the last book that I read in the month of June was Forbidden by Beverly Jenkins. This is an historical fiction novel centered around a black woman in the 1870s who wants to make it on her own. I mean, slaves are free now, and she wants to make it on her own as a restaurateur. And she goes west to do that. The series is called Old West. And she meets this guy who is white passing, but he's technically still colored, like he was enslaved before slavery was abolished. And it's their romance. It was so cute and good. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars just because, again, I don't know. I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think the writing was anything spectacular, but I thought the content was really good and I really liked the idea. Do I think it could have been executed better? Sure. Is it the most amazing book in the world? No. But I think that if you're looking for diverse historical fiction romance, Forbidden by Beverly Jenkins, I would completely recommend. And I'm glad that I got it from the library. I think it was really good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other things that Beverly Jenkins comes out with, because I do think that the book was pretty good and the romance was really good and the food seemed really tasty. So yes, that is another book that I read. I also started a new book that I haven't finished, but I just wanted to show you, and that is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This is a YA pirate novel, and it is super cute, and there's like fantasy and magic and pirates and mermaids and all that stuff. I'm only like a third of the way in, so I kind of got through the world building. Now I'm getting into the action and adventure, and so far I'm enjoying it. So yeah, look for this in my next review or my end of the month wrap up. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!